So this is Bubba. This is the one that I've done a couple videos of that doesn't pay attention to me, blows me off. I've lunged him a couple more times since, or worked him a few more times since the last video you saw. I believe this horse has been lunged a lot in the past. So what I need to do is I need to be transitioning from lunging less to riding more. And you saw that I didn't have, he pulled on his, pulled on my hands when I was on him. I've got his attention a whole lot better. I just want to move him around just a little bit, and then I'm going to step on, and I'm going to spend most of my time on him today, and we're going to see what he does. If you remember when I was working the Percherons that weren't wanting to steer, a big key to getting them to steer was getting go. And that's, I'm going to work him really similar. We're going to get feet moving, and then we're going to add steering. As you see, he's lunging a lot better than he started. He's still looking out a good bit, but at least he does do what I ask him to do. Not as good as I would like it to be, but it is progress. He's not coming into my space like he was. That time he came into my space. I was going to offer him to stand, and he didn't. Didn't stop. There we go. You gonna stand? Nope. I don't want to keep lunging him if I can help it. I'm going to keep showing him stand, but I'm not going to make him stand. He has to realize, there we go. He has to realize that I'm not sending him. Let's go over here and put the bridle on him. I am riding him in my heavy snaffle now. My heavy snaffle bit. I use this bit for horses that pull on me. See how he's trying to ignore me. We're going to have to get that better. I believe he doesn't respect authority. I don't think that I'm gaining that authority by lunging him. I don't want him fresh, but I also can't just keep lunging him to the point that he gets just super fit. Move a couple of these things out of the way. Check my saddle. As soon as I start to put weight in the stirrup, start stepping forward. Don't want you going forward. Really don't want to lunge him if I can help it. I think this horse has been lunged too much. He has been physically worked too much and mentally not worked enough. I know I don't have his attention. This bit is going to help me a little bit with gaining leverage. Now I'm going to start asking him to move forward. I want him to move forward, but we're going to move forward in a way that is mentally hard. We're going to do circles like this. Go the other way. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. Forward, there we go. Like I said in the other video, this is a horse that would forget that you're on him or ignore that you're on him. And then when it comes back to him, it'd get dangerous. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to keep his head one direction or the other, maintain my authority, and move his feet forward. If you saw in the last video, I didn't have hardly any steering. He didn't want to give his head to me at all. Turn to the wall. Let's walk forward again. And forward. Turn to the wall. And walk forward again. So as I'm asking you to move, we're going to talk about my ass-tail demand. I believe a big part of this horse's problem is he doesn't trust the rider's leadership. And if you saw the video that I did that talked about riding a dominant horse versus a submissive horse, I ride a dominant horse much more aggressive than I ride a submissive horse, and that's going to apply to him. Both my ass-tail demand, all three, is going to be more aggressive, more dominant than it would be if he was a submissive horse. So when I ask him to go, I'm going to not jerk on his head, but I'm going to say, hey, get your head over here. When I ask him to go forward, I'm going to use some leg. I'm going to say, hey, let's go forward. That's what I'm using for an ask right now. Pull his head, bump up my leg. Nope, let's go forward. Gets his head up like that. I'm going to kick harder. I'm going to go to tail. I'll kick pretty hard. Now you notice I took my spurs off today. I took them off with the percherons, and for the same reason, I want to be able to kick on him a little bit. I don't want to use the subtleness of a spur. I want to kick. That's going to go further with him right now, with convincing him that I'm his leader. Later, I'll soften that up some. He pulled on my hand. We're going to change directions. We're going to kick. Go back forward again. Nope, going this way. I felt him kind of tighten up back here. He took a couple of strong steps. That's why I turned him that time. Any independent thought that he gives me, I'm going to change directions. I'm going to kick on him, send him someplace else. Right there, he locked over there. Change directions, kick on him, send him someplace else. Doesn't really matter where I send him, but it's going to be somewhere else. He's locked over there. Pull his head, kick on him, send him somewhere else. Wanting to go over here, pull his head, kick on him, send him somewhere else. Now the last quite a few times I pulled with my right hand. I'd like to pull with my left hand to balance it out, but he keeps going right. I'm not going to pull him to the left if he's wanting to drift left. Pull on his head down, pull on my hands. Now I can use that opportunity to pull him left, kick on him with the right leg, and go back forward again. Picking up his pace a little bit. Turn left, go back forward again. Nope, pull on me again. Let's go back to the right. I want to kind of point him towards the wall so I can go back to pulling him, turning him to the wall again, like I did in the beginning. Let's go. Let's go. See right there, that bite on his shoulder was a little bit of temper. He knows just enough to not show the temper to me, but the temper is still there. Turn to the wall and go. Now I've done quite a few videos where I work on turning to the wall. I do that a lot because it helps in teaching the horse to use its body correctly. So I want to use that with him. It's not just a matter of kicking and go, getting his attention. I want to teach him to use his body correctly also. There we go. So right there, he turns to the wall. I'm pointing his nose. I'm using outside leg. Same cues that we're going to need later. Took a couple quick steps. We're going to turn back this way. Same cues that we're going to use later. You have to know where you're going with the horse to know what you need to reward, what you need to work on. It'd be real easy to just work on the problem that he's given me and not even consider the direction we're going in our training later. So not only am I fixing this steering problem, this go problem, the leadership problem, but I'm also working on where his training is going in the future. The owner is undecided as far as what she wants to do with the horse. We're going to see kind of what he seems naturally able to, want to do, naturally fit to do, and we'll go from there. Dominant horses like this, if you can get them to accept your leadership, normally make really good horses. All of the horses that I use for my lesson horses are all dominant horses. Dominant horses are a lot more reliable. They spook a lot less. They're a lot more confident. So they make really good horses as long as they will accept your leadership. Still pulling on me a little bit, but see them ears starting to relax? They'll still lock forward, and he's still pulling on me. Go this way. But his ears are starting to relax. I'm starting to reach that mental. I'm starting to get to him mentally that what I'm working towards. I believe that he's been lunged so much that he just goes, and he's just not used to engaging his brain into what's being asked of him. Some horses do that when they're pushed too hard too quick. They just shut out mentally because their brain's just overloaded. That might be his case in the past. I don't know how he was originally started. I do know that one of the trainers that he went to was afraid to get on him, and I do know that the other trainer, it sounded like, pushed him a little bit too hard. So I think what I'm seeing is the effects of both of those. So I didn't restart him totally from scratch, but what I'm doing here is exactly the same thing I would do after about the second or third time on a horse's back. So I'm going all the way back almost to the beginning and filling in them holes that should have been done when the horse was first started that I think got missed. And he's taken to it okay. He hasn't tried to get me off his back. His ears are starting to relax. He's pulling on me less, a whole lot less than you saw in the last video. So I believe we're making progress. Just anytime you have to go back and fix something, that always takes longer than if you fix it right the first time. So I'll continue working him. I'll show you another video in a few days so you can see how he progresses. Oh, I ain't gonna do that. And this is Bubba. I'll put a link up top to the other videos that I've done with him. Until next time.